oh my gosh, I would question everything. I was like, I can't have kids. And like, I would like tell Raul, like, I can't even give you kids. Like, I'm probably not going to be able to. Like, it was a really dark time. I'm not going to lie. It was a really dark time.
What is up, everyone? I'm your host, Alannized, and this is Noche de Pendejadas, your favorite podcaster and talk show en donde yo te traigo a tus influencers favoritos para platicar y posiblemente sacarles sus trapitos al sol. Hoy les tengo un episodio que yo sé que allá en casita están súper emocionadas de escuchar y ver. So without any further ado, please help me welcome my guest tonight, Karina Garcia!
Hey, y'all!
Hello, Skinny. Welcome to the podcast.
The skinny queen talking herself. Hello.
Aquí, amigas, el skinny duo. Literally.
The sleep sisters,
sleep
if you
sisters,
will.
you guys. We are sleep sisters.
Yes.
We're related
Wait,
somehow.
didn't we have the same doctor too, Loki?
Yes, we did.
That's iconic.
And I actually got inspired kind of by you, your brother. Like, we were literally texting back and forth, amigas, cuando agarramos the surgery. Before we get started, can I just say, thank you so much for making the time to making this happen.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm so excited. It's been so long. The last time I was on was
3 years ago.
Damn!
3 years ago, December 2nd was the last time I've had you on my podcast and honestly on my channel. I feel like that was like our first collab.
No, actually,
it was like interviewing you and Myra.
Yes.
Pero siento como que ahora va a ser diferente porque ahora sí nos vamos a enfocar un poquito más en ti. Vamos a poder conocer un poquito más a Karina. Y yo estoy muy emocionada. Pero antes de que empecemos con todo ese rollo, amigas, tell us what you've been up to. How has life been the last week, the last couple months? ¿Cómo te la has estado pasando, amiga?
It's been good. You know, November's here, so I feel like it's a little chaotic. I'm like, oh my gosh, the Black Friday sales are here. What do I want to buy? No, but there's like so much going on. I feel like as soon as November hits, the holidays are here. And then just also like, you know, with the slime stuff, I do start thinking about like all the holiday drops and like Black Friday and all that. So it's busy, but it's good.
Do you start thinking about that like prior, like months prior, or like you're thinking about it now?
Honestly,
December.
I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, I should have started thinking about it last month. But I feel like in general, like, I don't know if it's just me, but even like with like the podcast, because my sister and I have our own podcast for October, it gets so chaotic because of like the costumes, the guests, and like so much going on that I don't really have even time to think about the holidays. But as soon as November hits, I'm like, oh shoot, like it's about to be crazy. So then I start thinking about everything else last minute.
I also do feel like you've been out lately a lot, which I've been loving seeing you and Karina, you and Myra being I'm all talking to Myra right now.
You're like,
I feel like I've been seeing you guys out more lately.
Yeah, we've been stepping out a little bit. It's been fun, you know. I feel like with mom life, it gets hard to, how to say have fun? But just going out, you know, I had my baby last year. She's 1 year old. I'm starting to go out a little bit more. Yeah. But I feel like, you know, when you first have your baby, you're at home more. And also Myra with her baby, like, you know, with you two, we've been out here so long. And, you know, we have like our eras where we'll be going to events and doing stuff. And then also I feel like I went through an era, both of us, we went through an era where we were not going out as much because we were so like involved, you know, with the kids growing up and stuff. So we're getting into that era again where I'm getting more comfortable. Like, okay, let's start going out a little bit here and there. I miss the events and stuff. So we've been having a blast.
Karina, dinos un poquito más para la gente que a lo mejor no te conoce o a lo mejor que es su primera vez viéndote. Tell us a little bit more of who you are and what you do.
So my name is Karina Garcia. I am 31. Sheesh. I'm fucking old, okay. And I've been on YouTube for over a decade now, for so long. And I also have a slime business. You know, I'm a mommy, wife, and it's what I do, I guess.
Haces un poquito de todo, and I'm so excited, como les digo, amigas. I've had Karina on the podcast 3 years ago, but I'm actually more excited now because, I don't know, I feel like I'm going to get to know you more on a personal level today. Vamos a poder dedicarnos todo este episodio hacia ti. Y pues yo ya me voy a callar, amigas. ¿Por qué? Porque yo sé que ustedes vinieron para conocer un poquito más de Karina y no verme a mí platicar. With that being said, vamos a empezar con tu infancia, amigas. I want to get to know you a little bit more. How was your childhood? ¿Cómo eras tú de niña? Were you the loud? Were you the quiet one? Cuéntanos un poquito más de tu infancia.
I'm one out of 6 siblings. We definitely didn't grow up with much growing up. You know, my parents came here as immigrants from Mexico, and when my dad first got here, he lived under a bridge. Like, he literally was homeless for a bit. Yeah, so we didn't grow up with much. They gave us everything, though. They always gave us everything, but they didn't grow up with much. And I definitely have times that I remember, like I knew just by observing like other friends and like the things that they would get, like a cell phone or just like things like that. Like I knew that we were less fortunate, but at the same time, like we were so happy. We had the best childhood. Like my parents always like tell us, my dad, like he has like guilt. I don't know why, but he'll like tell us that he feels like he could have given us more. And I'm like, I had the best childhood in the world. Like I had the absolute best childhood, and that's not something I ever thought of. Obviously now growing up, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, but they gave us everything, even when they had nothing. So I'm so grateful for that. We had an amazing childhood. I was always really shy. Myra and I were both like extremely shy. I feel like a lot of people, even in our family or like just friends, they always tell us, like the first thing they always say is like, I don't know how you guys are online, because you guys were like insanely antisocial, like ridiculous. Like we were like in 4th grade crying when someone goes to kindergarten for the first time and they'll cry on their first day. That was us for 10 years.
Like, that was you, like, your senior year, bitch. I'm like, ya estoy muy grandecita para llorar.
No, it was so bad.
Wait, so you didn't like going to school? Or was it just because you didn't want to interact with people?
I think it was separation anxiety from my parents. It had to have been that, because it was so bad. Like I'm telling you, like my parents, you know, they were just thinking like, oh, it's the first day of kindergarten, that's why they're crying. No, like we did this for years. I remember in 4th grade, like my teacher was like so over it. I remember she was like, what are you crying about now? There was one day that she pulled me aside and she was like, what are you crying? I'm like, bitch, looking back, I'm like, that's so mean. Like, I feel like at the time, I obviously didn't know why I was so emotional. I feel like as an adult now with like, you know, mental health awareness and stuff, I'm like, I genuinely feel like I had some like anxiety developing as a kid that I didn't realize at the time.
Yeah. Do you feel like now you understand why the anxiety was building up as a child?
No. I think honestly, it was just like separation anxiety from our parents or something. I don't know what it was, but it was so bad. And it was the both of us too. We were like the biggest chillonas ever. And
do you guys like to be separated or no?
No. Oh my gosh. So we were, I think that like to the school in general, they knew how bad it was at the first couple years, like kinder and 1st grade, we had the same class together, which was good. You would think like, well, they're together, they're gonna be fine, but no, we would lose our mind. We were like the only kids crying every day for no reason. And my mom would come to pick us up, and me and Mara would look at each other, and I distinctly remember like telling her like, we gotta cut it, like she's on her way, like, and we would literally like hide ourselves from crying so that she wouldn't see us, because she would be like, what are you guys crying about now? I'm just like, oh my gosh, it was so bad. It was ridiculous.
You also did grow up in Santa Ana, right? Fun fact, you guys, I think one of the things that we would always kind of bond over is that we both grew up in Santa Ana. Do you remember like a time where maybe you saw them struggle, where you were like, you know what, ya estoy un poquito más grandecita, yo puedo entender lo que está pasando? I think my parents are actually struggling, because I feel like as kids, you know, obviamente if you grow up poor, it kind of just becomes normality, and you're like, oh, you know what, whatever, like we're happy, we're good. But did you ever have a moment where you're like, oh shit, like I just saw something go down that I know my parents are struggling?
You know what? I feel like in the vecindad that we grew up, everywhere we lived, it was always like communities of like so many kids that I never even noticed at the time. I think it's when I started going to school and then seeing like the friends' privileges at school. Like they would talk about getting like a cell phone at 10, or like just like little things like that. Or they would have like cool new shoes.
Or going on vacation.
Yes. Like I remember coming back from summer school and the teacher asking us what we did, and every kid was naming like, oh, we went here, we went there. And I remember thinking, I was like, I don't know, we were at home.
We went to the backyard.
I'm like, right? I was cleaning all weekend. The whole summer, literally. She had me cleaning. All Cinderella, like.
All mapeando, bitch.
Right?
You're like, clean this shit up now.
No, but no, I had a great childhood, like I said, but I feel like I didn't notice it until I guess I started seeing it like at school. But in general, like even like in Santa Ana, we lived like in an apartment complex where there were so many kids. Like that shit was iconic. I thought it was so fun. I love vecindades like that because all the kids like play outside, and I feel like it was great overall. But until I started going to school, I noticed little things, you know, just naturally,
Do you feel like you and your siblings almost had to be like the adults in the house? Y te lo digo más en la manera de que, you know, growing up with, you know, immigrant parents, a veces no saben ellos comunicarse con los maestros or with their jobs. Do you feel like you had to constantly be like the translator or any of that sort?
Oh my gosh, yes. I remember being like 7 years old, because I feel like every Hispanic kid has experienced this, like especially first generation, like where you're translating like the bills and stuff to your parents, or like just anything, like phone calls that you're like, girl,
like, what the fuck is this about?
No, I remember being 7 years old and my grandma would have me write letters to her son in jail.
Oh, bitch.
I swear to God. So I remember like writing for her, and I was like a 7-year-old kid. and I was writing to her son. And
did you even know what the fuck you were writing?
Well, she would just like tell me. But you know what's so funny? I feel like I learned very young as a kid that Spanish writing is so easy.
Really?
Like I feel like English writing is like a little bit more difficult, but I don't know. Like I never had to be taught to write in Spanish. I just remember she would tell me and I would write it out and she'd be like, yeah, it looks good.
I feel like for me it was the opposite. I feel like siempre me comía a letter. I would always like escribir bien mucho, you know, when like you would write something and you would miss out a letter. I feel like for me it was always easier to speak it than it was to like write it down. I would always like fuck up. And then when my mom would ask me like, ¿cómo de que te mando a la pinche escuela y no aprendes nada? Mi amor, like,
dude, that's
¿qué aprendiste tú?
That's my mom now. Like she'll forget her Facebook password and she's looking at me like I'm stupid. I'm like, why would I know? She'll be pissed. Like, ¿cómo no sabes? I'm like, when did I get your password, queen? And I'm like, of course I don't remember setting it up, girl. She has like 10 accounts at this point. I'm like, girl, remember your password.
And every single child she probably goes to switch the password, le cambia el pinche password.
And she gets so mad at us. I'm like, girl, I know you kidding.
You know, obviamente you saw your parents struggle a lot growing up. Do you feel like as you got older, that kind of motivated you to be like, you know what? Quiero trabajar duro, que el esfuerzo y los sacrificios que mis papás dieron valgan la pena?
Oh, 100%. I feel like growing up, that was my biggest drive. It's still my biggest drive now. My parents came here with no papers, so my dad has always been the kind of, like, as a kid, he's always been the type to tell us, like, if you don't do something with your life, es por pendejos. Tienen papeles, tienen toda la oportunidad. Because, yeah, when your parents come here with no papers and they come here with nothing, and, like, even getting a job is so hard, you know, without a work permit. You know, there's so many struggles they go through. They see the papers, like, los papeles, it's literally like the golden ticket in life. So they would always tell us, like, you guys have papers, you absolutely have every opportunity that the next person has. You need to do something with your life. And I always lived with that. And even just them, like, you know, doing what they did, you know, they came here and although we struggled, like they always like had that like business mindset. Like my mom, when we used to live in the apartments in Santana, she would be the neighborhood like snack person. Yeah, she would like set it up. She set up like a window and she would sell like tostilocos, all kinds of stuff, hot Cheetos, everything, right? And I remember we actually used to have like clientele, like the whole neighborhood would come by from her. They always just taught us about like business stuff. Years down the road, they ended up owning a restaurant at one point too. So like, I feel like they really always taught us about business. And I don't know, I feel like just seeing how much they struggled, if they were able to come here with nothing and do something with themselves, I was like, girl, we absolutely could do something. It's always been my drive. Always, always.
I'm going to talk for myself. I feel like growing up, you know, yo también, I grew up with like my parents being immigrants, them barely, you know, struggling to like make ends meet. I've always been a kid that was very aware about everything. Y alguien bien consciente de la manera que vivíamos, right? I was always like, you know what? I'm glad my parents are able to provide for us, but I always wanted more. And I feel like for me as a child, I kind of would feel guilty, like, what the fuck? Were you wanting more? Do you mean like your parents didn't give you enough? Yo siempre me sentía como mal el querer más. You know what I mean?
Too.
Like, oh my God, like, I don't want to say that I want to provide more for myself in the future than what my parents were able to provide for me as a child. Do you feel like you faced that struggle when you were like starting to become successful, where you're like, oh my God, like I'm creating this like empire for myself, but I also don't want to make my parents feel like they didn't give me enough?
When it comes to like success and stuff, I never really like pictured or thought like I want to do, well, I knew I wanted to do more than them just because like my privilege of, you know, being born here and stuff. I never felt pressure, I guess, success-wise. Like I guess for me, like success was just being able to salir adelante, you know, like having a job and paying bills. Like that was to me like being able to make it, I guess. But with like the whole YouTube thing, like that was actually like so unexpected. So no, I would have never seen it at the height that it got, like ever. For me, it was just like if I could pay my own bills one day and move out and get my apartment, like that was the goal. I mean, so much happened. It's crazy how everything turned out. Like none of us expected it. My parents, they've always been, you know, very grateful. My dad's actually told me like it was worth it. Like the whole sacrifices coming here was worth it because yeah, I mean, I think everything worked out. It's just insane how it all happened. Like,
sacaste de trabajar a tus papás, right?
Yeah,
how
it's
did
crazy.
that feel? That's crazy.
Insane. I literally, because, okay, so I started making videos and, well, I posted some in 2012, but then I just delisted them because they were so random. But I started really, like, going in and taking it serious in 2015.
Okay.
And I was just thinking yesterday when I was going like over the brief for the episode, I was like, wait, maybe within a year it all happened. Because 2015 I started taking it serious. By 2016, it was...
You were already the slime
queen. It was insane. Yeah, it was just, it happened so quickly. It was so crazy and so surreal. You know what? I actually love that where I came from, my roots, and how we came from nothing, because I feel like that actually makes you appreciate everything. I remember like years ago, there was like a YouTuber, a really, really big YouTuber, that like they were like filming something, and they kind of, I didn't want to see it like this at the time, but it almost felt like they were like making fun of the fact that I talk about
like your humble beginnings.
Yeah, like it was almost like they were kind of mocking it. They were like, "Oh, I'm Karina Garcia. I came here with this," or it were almost like, it almost felt like they were just like poking at the fact that I talk a lot about me being having my heart on my sleeve, basically, about my childhood and my parents. It was giving very like if they were almost making fun of me for being a pobrecita. Like it kind of gave that a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I never want to hold that against people, but I just remember people like saying like, you know, they thought it was funny that this person was saying stuff like that. But I think about it and I'm like, well, yeah, like you never went through that, so you're never gonna understand it. You think it's corny, you think it's cheesy, but to me, it's my fucking life story, and it's literally. It's huge to me.
Clock it, bitch.
Like,
yes.
what?
Like,
you know?
Of course I'm going to fucking feel proud of where the fuck I'm at right now, because it wasn't always this fucking way.
Exactly. I'm thinking like, it's giving, you were born into this shit. You don't get it.
You've accomplished so much at such a young age that it should be admirable. You know what I mean? Because si tú nunca empezaste a hacer esos videos, if you never continued, you know, branching off from what one thing gave you to the other, you would not be here today. So it's like, fuck you. I don't even know who this person was, but fuck you.
You would be like shook.
Wait, is it someone like that I might know?
Yes.
I thought my bestie.
No, it's like...
Really? That's crazy. You started blowing up on social media, and eventually, you know, we're talking about you retiring your parents. Do you remember the moment it finally hit you, like, oh my God, like I'm ready to actually retire my parents. Like, ya no quiero que trabajen. What did that mean for you in that moment, especially after everything you guys have lived through?
It was so exciting, Alan. Like, I look at those times and I look back and, you know, I thought I was grown, but I was a kid. This was like years ago. I mean, even the time that I bought my house, this was like almost 9 years ago. So I really look back to those days, you know, in my early 20s, late teens and years. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we were so excited. Mind you, like growing up with our living conditions, like as kids, it was just always our dream to have a pool and stairs. Like that's it. Like we wanted a 2-story house. We were like so obsessed with 2-story houses as kids that even like in the traila, I remember asking my dad, because he had worked in construction, and I remember telling him like, why can't you just build stairs in this house?
Like all fucking the porch. You're like, I just want stairs.
No, literally.
Girl.
I remember we were like, can you just make like a little nook, something like inside the traila? And he was like, girl, it can't, because I guess like the foundation and everything, it couldn't happen.
You're
whatever.
Fucking collapse, babe.
You couldn't
have a traila after. Yeah, literally.
No, literally. But we were just like so fascinated with 2-story houses. Like if you had a 2-story house, like I don't care the square footage, you're rich as fuck.
Yeah, it was a mansion.
Literally. And like if you had a pool, oh my gosh, you are literally rotting in money. So that was like the ultimate goal growing up, you know. And for my dad too, like his goal was always like to buy that house. I think when it came to finally, you know, earning our own money, and when it came to becoming successful, I felt like a kid in a candy store. Like, it's new money. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly, but all I'm thinking is like, oh my gosh, we've always wanted like a house together. So because a lot of times people will ask me like, why didn't you just buy yourself a house? Like, why did you do something like that where you bought a house and like your whole family came with you? My older siblings don't live there. Myra actually, she moved out years ago as well. But in the beginning, we were all there. And even now, like my younger siblings are there and my parents. So people sometimes like to say like, why did you do that? But I just think they don't know the backstory, and like us growing up as kids, like how that was always our dream to have that. So when it came to finally having the opportunity, for me, it was like, oh my gosh, we're living like our childhood dreams. Yeah. And then that's what I decided. I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy a house. I mean, it was just insane. Like I'm not gonna lie, like with everything, you know, with YouTube and like the deals and everything was just like such a peak that I even at one point, like I was giving my dad, like I told him, I was like, you guys are not gonna go to work, and I was still giving them like allowances and everything, just because I was literally just like the happiest kid in the world. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna, you know, you're just like blowing everything.
I make money, y'all make money too.
No, literally. I was like, I'm getting this house. I got the house. And then I was just like giving the money. And we were just all kids in a candy store.
Yeah.
Like literally. And it felt amazing. It felt so, so amazing.
I feel like that's like everyone's dream, and the fact that you were able to accomplish that through social media is so crazy, and it's something that you should be proud about, you know. Quiero platicar un poquito más de tu infancia, obviamente. For those that don't know, Karina is a twin.
I am.
Cuéntanos un poquito más de eso. Who's the older twin? What was it like growing up being a twin? ¿Las vestían iguales? Cuéntanos un poquito más de eso.
So I am a twin. Me and my sister are identical twins. And oddly enough, it's funny because she started YouTube before I did. So that's actually how it all started. Myra started posting makeup videos because Myra's always been like a makeup queen. Even before that, for years, she was doing freelancing. Like straight out of high school, she was like doing bridal makeup and all that. And she started posting videos. And I remember like I would look up to her. I was like, that looks so fun. She would bring me in here and there, like in twin tags or like videos here and there. People were like, oh, like she should make a channel too. And then, you know, I did one for fun and stuff. But I've always loved having a twin sister, you know, with school as scary as it was. Like, I can't imagine if we were already crybabies. I can't imagine what it would have been like just be me by myself. Because even as an adult now, whenever I have to do something that's like intimidating or go to an event, meet new people, it's never as scary because my sister goes with me. So it feels like you have a built-in buddy all the time. Like, as cheesy as that sounds, like you always have someone. So it's never as like
you're doing anything alone.
Yeah, I love being a twin, dude.
Did they dress you guys alike growing up?
Yes, my mom actually used to make us like little dresses all the time. Like exactly, we would wear the same thing. I didn't like it at the time, but then once we started dressing ourselves, that's when we started changing like completely different. I feel like a lot of twins could agree to this. You are compared so much growing up your entire life. They try to dress you the same. When it's your birthday, when it's Christmas, they'll be like, here's a gift for the twins. Like, you have to share a lot of shit. So
like, bitch, where's my own
I'm like,
fucking
baby.
gift? We're two different
I'm like, we're going to fight to the death for this gift. Why would you do that? Literally. Also, just in general, with everything, it was like that. Or like, people always refer to you as like the twins. So growing up, we were one person.
As you get older, you know, and as you start building your own personality and your own self, did it ever get to the point that you got annoyed by the comparisons?
Oh,
like more
100%.
Very much like, bitch, I'm my own person. How did that make you feel?
You know what? I feel like that's just like such a normal thing with all twins. Like, I don't know a single twin that wouldn't agree with this. Like, the comparing your entire life is insane in every single aspect, in your career, in your weight, in your looks, in everything. Like, growing up, I was always the bigger queen, like by like probably like 60 pounds or so. So I was always like the fat queen. It's so funny though, but looking back, I was definitely like thick as a house iron. And the comparing, like in high school or like middle school, like the kids don't give a fuck. They'll be like, oh, you're definitely the ugly one. I'll be like, bitch.
They would tell you
it was some ogre ass looking bitches too. I was thinking like, baby, we're on the same fucking boat right now. Like, I know you're fucking kidding, imagine. No, but I specifically remember one time. Oh, I hope she's watching. I've never said the story. I remember I don't even think Mara remembers. She's gonna be like, what the fuck? I remember in high school, we were like in 9th grade and we're both in the restroom. And like somebody else was asking us if we were twins. Cause like honestly at the time, we didn't really look alike. Like you would actually have been shocked, like, oh, you guys are actually related, imagine? This girl comes in, I guess she's hearing the conversation about us being twins and she's like, you're twins? And she was like, oh yeah, you're definitely the ugly one. She told me that. And this was like an ugly ass bitch talking, first of all. Like, I'm sorry. I was thinking like,
bitch, are you talking about yourself?
I was honestly like, I was just so flabbergasted and like thrown off that I didn't say anything. But I remember thinking like, why would you ever tell that to a person? Like, you're so weird for that.
Did that make you feel bad, like emotionally? Or was it something like, bitch, it's coming from you, I don't give a fuck?
No, of course. Like, because then, like, in my head, I was thinking, like, yeah, I know. Like, fuck. Like, leave me alone. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's, like, a trauma you grow up with as a twin. Guarantee you right now, there's always one twin that lives, like, that has that trauma. But even now, like, I'm telling you, it happens your whole life in stages because we get compared so much now, just, like, in so many different aspects. And we relate to each other so much in that aspect because I've been compared to her in other ways. She's been compared to me in other ways. And we both are like, yeah, we fucking hate that shit. Like, I don't know why the fuck they, like, we're always there for each other in that sense. Like, we get each other with that so much because we're like, why do people do that shit?
Did you ever feel like growing up you had the pressure to almost keep up with Myra? Nos comentas that, you were always, the chubbier twin. Did you ever feel like, oh my God, like I have to like do something? Or like, did you ever feel that pressure of being like, oh my God, I want to look as good as Myra or like Myra to like, for these people to stop saying shit like that? Was that like funny. A pressure you had?
It wasn't necessarily a pressure. I think for me, it was just like, oh, that's just how it is. Like, I'm a twin sister, so I'm always going to be compared. So I never really felt pressure with that. No. I did see her like start YouTube and I got inspired. I was really inspired. Myra and I have always been really close. So like, despite everything, I've never seen my sister like as like competition, like in any way, whether it was like physically, in any way. We don't see each other like that because we've always been like super, super close and all. But no. Yeah, if anything, we relate to each other a lot with that because we both have.
Do you feel like it would make you guys stronger? Like when, like, let's say someone would say something bad about you or about her, you guys would be like, "Oh, no le hagas caso, sis." Like, don't fucking
oh my gosh,
it
makes
them.
us so
you
close.
You guys would like comfort each other.
Yeah, it makes us so close because we would always be like, "Girl, like." People are weird. Don't
ignore them.
Okay.
That bitch is ugly. Right? Literally, after that bitch told you that. Literally.
No, literally.
Obviamente as kids, especially when you go into high school, middle school, I feel like that's when you really find out who you are as a person, your personality. You start wanting to try this out. Do you remember the moment where you're like, you know what, we're twins, but I also have, my own things that I want to do? You remember that moment where you're like, I want to find myself outside of being a twin?
You know what? When it came to like styles, like dressing up and our hair and stuff, we were pretty similar. Even in high school, right out of high school, we were both like makeup girlies. So except I didn't know how to do it on other people and stuff like that. But we both did our own makeup a lot. We were both glam girls. But one thing for sure is I do know when I started YouTube, I obviously looked up to my sister, but I also was like, no, I'm gonna do something different. Like, I don't want to be a beauty guru. Like, and that was just the twin in me. Just naturally as a twin, you always want to like. You want to be differentiated so badly that you're just like, no, I want to do something different. So I wanted to do the complete opposite. At the time, I was watching like Alicia Marie, My Life as Ava, like way back.
The DIY girlies.
The DIY girlies, like that's who I was watching, like the lifestyle girlies. And, that's what I was watching. So I just remember thinking like, what if I did like some fun little DIY videos? I just wanted to stay away from makeup completely. At the same time, I knew my sister was an influencer. So I didn't want people to throw it in my face like, oh, you're trying to like copy your sister. Or just because naturally with twins like that, you get that a lot as twins in general. So when it came to that, I was like, I'm going to do like completely different stuff. And that's when I started like DIYs and all that.
¿De qué se peleaban ustedes más growing up? Like, was there something specifically that you guys would always be like, no, nos vamos a agarrar a greñazos porque esa cosa es mía, or I want this shit done this way? What was that? Like little thing that you guys would fight about a lot growing up?
I think like grabbing each other's clothes, like that's such a huge sister thing. But you guys would have
the same shit. How do you grab each other's clothes?
Yes, but like I guess when it came to like high school and stuff, like, we would like have our own stuff. But like I had this thing where like I would always take Myra's stuff. Like and then she was like getting like the PR and stuff. I was like, bitch, I want some too. And then I would borrow something and I would break it. She would let me borrow a MAC lipstick. And then I would like accidentally not put it down and I would smash it when I close it.
Video where they all smashing it.
Literally, like just like the most, I don't know, it was just so like messy and chaotic that like I would touch her stuff and like ruin it, and she didn't like that. Or I would like take all her clothes, like borrow. She had some cute top. She had a sense of style. That's the thing about Myra. Like Myra has a really good sense of style with decorating, with everything. Like that bitch really knows what she's doing with her aesthetics, right? Growing up, I always like grabbed her clothes and like I would lose it or I wouldn't give it back, or I would lie to her like I didn't get it, but I did. So that's the most we would clash.
Would you guys like physically fight, or was it just more like verbal?
No, it was always just verbal.
Okay.
But you know what? There was one time where I think we did fight for like 3 seconds, maybe. Yeah.
Well, like all body blows, bitch.
I don't know what it was about.
No, you remember back then? Like, boom, 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 boom. No. Que saquen ahorita el enojo que tienen y ya.
That is hilarious. No, I think it was like something like where I just like pushed her and then she pushed me. It was so stupid. We're pussies.
We shouldn't fight. Right? A fucking little slap, bitch, and that's it. Platicamos un poquito de tus papás. What was your guys' relationship with your guys' parents growing up? Do you feel like you guys, or you in general, were you more like of a daddy's girl? Were you more of a mommy's girl? ¿Sentías como que tus papás trataban una gemela más mejor que la otra? What was that like growing up?
I was a little bit more out there, a little more rebelde, as my mom likes to say.
¿En qué manera?
I would talk back to my mom a lot, like, You know what? I feel like I'm telling you, like looking back when I really look at my childhood, I think I had some kind of like anxiety, some kind of stuff going on because I know it's a big word to throw around, but I remember feeling depressed in high school, like severely, and I would run away from home. Like I was low key, like I was bad. I would talk back to my mom. We would fight, and like I definitely had moments that I was like, she don't love me. Like, but that was just me thinking that because we had such a like toxic relationship at one point. I was like 14, 15 years old, so I was going through that phase of, I guess, like puberty and stuff. But like, if you ask my mom, like in those times, I gave her a hard time.
Wait, you would run away and like not come back vibes?
I would.
Like
I would come back that night.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't even that bad. I'm like, girl.
I'm like, so you would just go outside and play?
No, I would like run away and just like hide down the street or something, and then she would like go looking for me. We would just have like a lot of arguments.
Would you ever get the ¿por qué no pudiste ser como tu hermana?
Oh, yeah.
Growing up? Because she was more calmada, right?
Yes.
You know what's so funny? Fun fact, I met Myra before I met Karina first.
Yes.
Porque obviamente, como dice Karina, Myra was in the makeup world. When I first started doing social media, pues yo también, obviamente, estaba como en ese mundo también. I became friends with Myra, and I always would see Karina, pero yo no sé por qué, maybe because of we've talked about this so many times, por su contenido, yo pensaba que she was like going to be like boring.
That's so funny.
O bien juvenil.
Yeah.
Yo pensaba que tú ibas a ser super juvenil to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I can't even drink around her because,
that is
you know, a lot of your content was kid content at the time,
so funny.
you know? And when I met you, I was like, no, esta es desmadre igual que yo. I feel like we clicked instantly because eras un desmadre. Maybe so todavía, which is good. I'm a desmadre too. I'm proud.
Yes,
you know,
I love it.
You are desmadre, and that was like you all your life too.
Oh yeah. Like growing up too, I feel like I was more out there. Like I remember Myra, like girls would try to like bully her and stuff in high school. And I remember they would try to come up to me and like, I was scared too, but like nunca me dejaba. Like I was gonna say some shit too. Like I wasn't gonna swing at you, but if you're gonna talk shit to me, like I would like hold my fucking ground, shaking and all, but I would talk back. I wasn't like scared like that. But yeah, I was a little bit more rebellious than Myra. And then when it came to like just being at home and stuff, I would just cause more chaos and all that. It was a short-lived time, but it was my teenage years. Yeah. Maybe like 14 through 16. My mom said it was like my puberty era where I was just really snappy at both her and my dad. And even growing up, like, you know, into adulthood. I feel like Myra's also pretty outgoing. Like we're both more outgoing. But I don't know, I went through my phases. Like I'm telling you, like as a kid, it was like insanely shy. And then once I got into high school, I just became like a hothead. And then, I don't know.
¿Qué pasó que te hizo que te calmaras?
I think it was genuinely after graduating high school. I think just high school, like maybe the hormones or what. I was just like snappy, miserable. I was just, How were
you in school in general? Were you like the popular girl? Were you the shy girl? Were you smart? Eras burrita? How were you in school in general?
In school, I want to say later in high school years, we were never popular, that's for sure. But, I mean, we had our friends and stuff. I guess we were, like, right in the middle. We were just there. Book-wise, honestly, we were not, like, the brightest, the both of us. Growing up, we always did, like, the ELD classes and all those. Well, starting school, you know why I also think we had major anxiety? We didn't know any English.
Okay.
So starting kindergarten was a nightmare. Like, I remember the teacher trying to talk to us. It was a nightmare. It probably took us
or what?
Nada. No, nothing. Like we didn't understand anything. But I know that we had like those classes. I think it was ELD that they had where it was like bilingual. They would like teach us English and stuff. It was a journey for sure with school. And then growing up, there's different parents because I feel like there's parents that are like, you need to graduate, you need to go to college, and you need to do this. I feel like my parents were more about like work. Because when it came to school, I don't remember them even asking like about our grades and stuff. And I low-key look back, I'm like, girl, how come y'all were not like on top of our grades like that? Until after we like graduated and stuff, they were very on work. Because me and Myra were working like at 15 years old. And my parents were very about that, like get a job and stuff. And we were like 15. So I think they were more leaning on work, that they didn't really care like about like our high school grades as much. Like they wanted us to graduate, but I never felt pressure from them. So we were just like
to be an A+ student. Yeah.
Never. So we were just there. And then when it came to junior year in high school, I remember thinking like I need to get it together because I was like close to not graduating. And then that's when I locked in and I actually became I guess like an A student for like just that year because I was like, I have to get it together.
What was your favorite and least favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject was, I guess, art. I had an art class and that was always fun because we were just drawing and stuff. My least has always been history and math. I never really cared for.
Really? I was hoping you wouldn't say history because history is one of my favorites. Because I feel like for me, I loved history because it was like I was always really good with memory. So as soon as you remember something, you're like, history's not going to change, babes.
Okay.
So it's like the answer's always going to be the same.
That's so
real.
real.
I feel like for me, history was very easy because I'm like, apréndete lo que estás leyendo y sas. Math was hard. Math was really hard. Hasta el día, amigas, yo soy bien pendejo con los números.
I still don't.
Do you feel like you've gotten better at math? Because now you run a whole business, girl.
Well, I use like calculators and AI.
I like ChatGPT. Bitch.
But
you're like, I have employees now that do the math. Bitch.
No, but I feel like with math, I still don't. I don't know. I'm really, really bad at math.
Yeah, like you know basic math.
Yeah, like
but
the
not
basic
like
math.
Crazy equations.
Yeah, like
not
E
like,
equals MC squared, all that shit. What is it for?
Like, do you remember what PEMDAS means?
No.
PEMDAS or PEMDAS?
Something about.
I just saw a TikTok about this.
Like, oh my
this
God,
week.
I literally
and
saw it too.
I was gonna say remember it, but I don't.
PEMDAS.
Para verga, amigas, para que miren que yo y Karina valemos verga. I think it's parentheses, exponents, division, addition and subtraction.
Oh, PEMDAS is math.
Yeah, it's math.
Okay, see.
It's like the order that you have to do the
like
equation.
Science or something.
You're like, I thought it was history. You're like, I thought it was a war or something crazy, girl.
World War I.
You're like, Today's video is sponsored by Cash App. Are you tired of looking at your boring debit card que se mira rete simple? Pues yo no, mi amor. ¿Por qué? Porque con mi tarjeta de Cash App, I can personalize it, put my favorite emojis on it para que se mire rete cute. Cash App just released a new status program for the way people actually spend called Cash App Green. It unlocks new ways for you to pay, get rewarded, and easily grow or manage your money on your terms. Now, when you spend a total of $500 a month with the Cash App card or Cash Apple Pay, you earn Green status, which unlocks benefits like up to $200 to free overdraft coverage, higher borrowing limits, and custom personalized cashback offers every Friday at places you love to shop. Turn everyday spending into status with Cash App Green. Download Cash App today or visit cashapp.com/new to learn more about this and other great features launching now. Ustedes saben, amigas, lo mucho que me encanta Cash App. I love Cash App so much because it is so easy to use and so easy to send to your friends, your family members, or whoever you need to send money to, así de rápido. For a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use the code CashApp10 in their profile at sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial service platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's banks partners. Prepaid debit card issues by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Direct deposit, roundups, overdraft coverage, and discount codes provided by Cash App, A Block Inc. brand. Visit cashapp.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. Now let's get back to today's episode. Quiero platicar un poquito más de las redes sociales. Obviamente a los 18 años empiezas a grabar tus videos, you take a little break, then you get back on, and your whole career blows the fuck up. Cuéntanos un poquito más del momento que te acuerdas where you went viral and you're like, oh my God, like if I really get my shit together, I can make social media a full-time job.
I started, like I said, like with DIYs and I would watch them and stuff. It's funny because my first video was kind of an accident, but kind of not. So my birthday, I know this is random, but my birthday's on February 8th, right? That day, I had made some DIY lipsticks. I had like used a palette and I mixed it with some lip gloss and like they just look so pigmented, so cute. So that I did it on my birthday like for fun. And then I was like, wait, I've been wanting to like start a channel. I should just film this. So the next day I filmed it, and on February 11th, after that was like my first DIY. So that was my very first DIY video, and I remember that video it did okay. And then I just kept doing DIYs. I think my first viral moment was I did like a back to school DIY or something. Okay. And that did really good. And I was doing DIY for a while. DIYs, back to school hacks and all that stuff. And they had their viral moments too. But I think like the biggest viral moment for sure for me was the slime.
Okay.
Like the slime, you know, I had found slime was just gonna be one other DIY in my DIYs. I had like searched up on Pinterest how to make like the basic one. At the time, there was basic slime. There wasn't any
like the puddings, no? It was more like the ones that you just stick your finger into.
Yeah, it was like a green
jar.
goo. Yeah, like a green goo fart moment. Like those little. Am I doing it?
Like they don't even exist now. Right? Karina put them out of business after your crazy slimes. Yeah.
No, but it was just like really like basic at the time, and I remember thinking like, what can I do that would make it fun? How could I? I don't know why I was like I don't know where my head was at, but I was like, I'm gonna turn it into a soap. So I mixed like shampoo and like I made like a slime that was like a soap, but it was slime, and that did like really good numbers. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Like people started requesting other, I guess, different slime ideas, and then I just kept doing it, and I just kept doing weird stuff with slime. So it was never like a regular slime tutorial. That was like a soap one. So the next one I was like, wait, now I'm gonna make up something that looks like Play-Doh or something that's like, oh, then I was like, now I'm gonna make an edible slime. Now I'm gonna make 500 pounds of slime. I always thought like just weird, out there slime videos.
Like you were very much trying to one up yourself at that point, because you were doing crazy. I remember doing the hot Cheeto one that you did.
Oh, I'm so dead. That was crazy.
I have a whole video of me trying to do your hot Cheeto one.
That was crazy.
I swear to God, yeah,
that was insane. Me mixing hot Cheetos into slime was actually diabolical. Like, what was the reason? But that was really fun, and I just did so many weird videos. Like even looking back, like not just slime, like I did so many videos that typically would like some of them would take so long. Yeah. Like there was one where I made my head into like a gummy. That shit, I literally had to get my whole face like into a mold. Like somebody came and like, you know, wrapped me up. I couldn't even breathe. They had like 2 little holes right here. They got a mold of me. They did this whole plaster thing.
Was that expensive?
Yeah, for sure. It was. But at the time, I was so into like just like big videos like that. Like if I did a video, I was like, I'm gonna do something crazy, like fill this room up with squishies and like cover it up
with your sister. Yes,
like
or your dad recreated your whole house.
My dad, yes, he basically built my house like in mini version for my dogs. I feel like I always had like a crazy like mentality with videos. I was like, I always thought viral. I was like, we need to do something big. So then like I got a team at one point, and I would think of a crazy idea, but it wasn't as hard because like I knew they were gonna like help me put it together. And then some of them would take forever to film, but it was always so worth it. I mean, we always thought big with those videos, and they were really fun. They were crazy, but looking back, I'm like, they were really fun videos.
I really do feel like you really almost set the bar so high dead. Because I swear to God, you guys, even though I didn't have a friendship with you at the time, I used to watch your videos because to me, I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is she doing now? That's gummy head was so hilarious. Then I remember you did your fucking huge, the pineapple.
Oh, I made like a giant pineapple squishy. Yeah.
All your fucking slimes. That was crazy. I feel like because of your slime videos, you know, you really did get catapulted into like a whole like newfound fame. Empezaste a salir on Ellen, on the morning shows, newspapers. You came out with your own brand. You freaking did conventions. Acordándote de todo lo que pasó en ese tiempo, what do you think like now when you look back, you're like, oh my God, I cannot believe I fucking did that. Tell us about that moment and how it came to be.
I look back now and I can't even believe it. I can't believe that happened. I'm like, what the heck? I was on Ellen. Like, if I went on Ellen, I would shit myself. Or like Good Morning America, just like different stuff. I remember there was a time where maybe 2017, like it was like definitely like the peak era where I remember my manager would be like, tomorrow you're flying to New York for this many interviews and you're flying back the next day because in 2 days you're flying to Chicago. And like, it was like low-key like a press thing like for a bit. Like everybody wanted to interview the slime girl. It was so random. Like it's funny looking back. I'm like, that's so funny how like slime.
That's iconic though.
It's so crazy. Like there was definitely that era where it was so many different like interviews going on and so many like talk shows. And I don't know how I did it because with every single one, I was literally going to shit myself. I was nervous for every single one. A lot of them were live. A lot of times I wouldn't even see the person, the host, until that moment. Like with Ellen, I didn't see her until I came out on live. Like they had me come in early to rehearse with a producer, but I didn't meet her. I didn't even know who was going to be there. It was her and Reese Witherspoon. Didn't even know. I just know it was going to be her and some other guest. So when I was like in the back room waiting to go on, I was like, oh my gosh, it's both of them. I was like, oh my God, I was like freaking out. Like, but I feel like in moments like that, I had no other choice than to suck it up and just pretend that I wasn't freaking out. Because if I would have came out all shy, it would have been like...
Te la creías tú though? Because I also do feel like you said, I feel like that time you blew up so quickly, and I'm sure you're going from, you know, just being in your apartment in your home to like, hey, te necesitamos acá. Was that overwhelming for you at one point?
It was extremely overwhelming, but like in the best way. I remember like when I first got a manager, like He's still the same manager I have now. But when I first spoke to him, I remember he was like, I'm about to get you like really, really busy and you just need to be okay with it and just ride with it. And I was like, okay. No, it was actually like, it was some crazy shit. Like I'm telling you, he'd be like, tomorrow you're flying here. We'll fly you back the same day. And then the day after, I was like flying out like 3 times a week for like random like interviews. Like,
and it would be like 5-minute interviews, huh?
I'm not kidding. Like I would fly to like sometimes I'll hear about people. They're like, oh, I'm from here. I'm from this place in Connecticut or something random. I'm like, I've been there. And they're like, how'd you like it? I'm like, I was literally there for like 3 hours. Like, it's crazy. Like I didn't realize it at the time because it was so fast paced. But I look back now and I'm like, wow, that was so iconic. It was so iconic.
Do you feel like at the moment you were able to grasp what was going on?
No, because I would like shut down. Like I would shut off. I feel like I have this way of thinking where if I freak out, like I know I'm gonna look stupid. So I think everyone does this too, where you just like, you're like, no, I need to suck it up and I'm gonna get through it.
So you put a front. Like I did this. Do it.
Yeah, I did all these interviews with not a single ounce of alcohol, with nothing. I would just show up and like turn on Karina Garcia. Like I guess, you know what I mean, right? Like, do you ever walk into a room and you're like shy and you're nervous, but then you also kind of have to like turn that on and be like, no, but like, you know,
like I'm Alan.
You know,
like be confident. Yes. Be yourself. Like I always get that. Even for interviews, I feel like I always get anxiety, especially when I don't know the person. Mm-hmm. I'll be fucking having a whole anxiety attack before they pull up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then they walk in and I'm like, hi, how are you? Como si nada, güey.
Yeah, me too. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'll be like nervous, but I probably don't look it. Especially with like shows that were live, they were always so scary. I feel like with Ellen, that was like scary as fuck. Like I literally came out and I was like, oh my god, hi! Like I was like freaking out. I know. And then like she's like she's the kind that would like joke with you and like just I don't know. It was just so scary, but it was like it was fun. And anytime it was over, the segments were always fast. They were always like 5 to 10 minutes. They were quick. When I would get into like the green room after, I would be like, I can't believe I did that. I would be so excited, but in the moment, it was just like, oh my gosh.
You grew up having not that financial stability, and then you start doing YouTube and it skyrockets. You know, te empieza a llegar el dinero. What was it like running into so much money at first? And what were some of the early lessons you learned along the way when it came down to money?
That's actually such a great question. You know, I've been online for so long, and I feel like that's something people are always curious about. You know, like you make all this money, an influencer hits their peak. What now, you know? They grow broke. I imagine I'm all, help.
You're like, how much are you paying me for this? Your rent's due tomorrow.
I'm so dead. No, but I am so happy and so grateful to say that, you know, it's still doing it for me. And I always give this advice to like other influencers. I'm like, you know what? At your peak, the best thing you could do is like buy a house, some kind of investment, right? Something. Because I feel like in that moment, you know, you have like all the funds, like go crazy, girl. No, but also don't spend money on stupid stuff. You know, when I first came into money, I was so excited. I bought everybody cars. Like I got the house. I was just like anything that would come in, I would be like blowing it, you know? Over the years, I've also had like different businesses and stuff, but those different businesses also pull my weight sometimes. Like I'm really grateful to have made my brand with Squishy Bunny and like, you know, other investment stuff I've done on the side. I'm so glad that I had like someone, cause like my financial advisors, like they also like helped me with that and stuff. Where to put money and stuff. Because if I didn't, I would have 100% been broke by now. Like, I really think about it. I'm like, if I never started Squishy Bunny, like, where would I be right now? Because I was like, you know, obviously, like, I do different stuff, but that has been, like, a huge help. You know, with YouTube, like, I don't really post on YouTube as much right now. You know, like, I have, like, my podcast and stuff, but, like, on mine, I'm like, oh, my gosh. I haven't really posted much. So I think, like, that's one of the biggest things that I learned is really having different sources of income. I think you have to have like 6 sources to really be comfortable, because even if something's doing amazing today, in 2 years it might not be. But guess what? One of your other businesses could flourish in the next few years. And like you have always something to like fall back on. And that was something that I learned over the years. And I'm so grateful for, I think about it all the time. Yeah. I do think about it all the time, and I'm like, honestly, for how long I've been on YouTube, like I could definitely like I could be in another position, and I'm so grateful and so blessed that it's always worked out. Like, you know, whether if it was not like my slime videos, like the slime shop and stuff, it's always worked out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm just so blessed. And I also like to think that I am like very like driven like with work.
Yeah. I feel like that's the thing that helped you a lot, that you're trabajadora.
If I'm not putting as much energy into YouTube, I promise you I'm putting a lot of energy into like my shop or just like other things that I do, you know? I feel like that's one thing that I learned from my parents and like I'm really grateful about is like the work ethic. The investing and all that. Like I feel like I've been really, really blessed over the years and that's my biggest advice even to just give to anybody. Like you have to have so many different sources because if I really just had YouTube, I really think I'm like, damn, like, I don't even know where the fuck I'd be right now.
You were able to like be like, you know what? I'm going to ride the wave.
Yeah.
But in that process, I'm going to work my ass off because I can't depend on the YouTube stuff all the time. You know, obviamente you were going viral. You were having very viral videos that were probably making you so much money. But you were saying that was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Now you're like, okay, now where do I gotta focus? Like for me, I always tell people like, también igual como tú, güey. Cuando yo, obviamente no igual. No igual. Pero cuando yo empecé a hacer, you know, YouTube, I was posting daily. I was, you know, I guess going kind of viral at the time and I was making money.
You are very viral. What are you talking about?
At the time, you know, I'm talking about 2016, 2017 era.
You are literally people's childhood.
We literally are.
We are. Literally.
You know what's so funny? I saw when you were with the twins, people were like, is that the slime queen?
I'm so
You were
dead.
literally people's childhood.
That's so funny.
Do you get that a lot, Karina?
Yeah. Oh,
you
yes.
do all the time, huh? You're like, what? Were you calling me old?
No, I get it all the time.
Old as fuck, the people that are telling you that. You're like,
no, right? Yeah,
like, bitch, we're the same age. No, but I think what I'm going with that is like when I first started, I was obviously like you, like fucking running through my money. I was like, oh my God, a designer bag. You know, I used to always tell myself when I would make money, every time that YouTube check would hit, I would always be like, okay, what designer bag can I buy myself next?
Oh, okay.
You know,
period.
and you know what's so crazy? I have so many designer bags now that I have not even worn to this day.
Dude, same.
Swear to God, just because I would buy shit que nunca ni me gustaban.
No,
Era
me
nomás
too.
para como complacerme a mí and be like, you know what, now you can do it. You grew up with not having much.
Yes.
Now that you have that position and that like ability to, háztelo. But over the years, you know, obviously things change. I feel like for me, what has helped me, it's like not putting all your eggs in one basket. It's like, to me, it's like the
100%.
podcast, my YouTube videos, and just like other little stuff that I'm doing. It's
So
like,
many things.
tienes que siempre estar así ocupado. You know what I mean?
100%.
In 2016, you and Raul opened up your guys' slime shop, Squishy Bunny. Cuéntanos un poquito de eso. How did that idea come to be? What made you be like, you know what? Ahorita la gente le gusta el slime. Que ponernos juntos y hacer este negocio. What was that like?
Okay, so with the slime shop, it's a funny story because, you know, at the time I was just doing the slime videos, the DIYs and stuff. And I did always want to have a slime shop because I was like making it. What's funny is the Craft City brand started before the slime.
Oh, really?
Before the shop.
Okay.
Yes. So around late 2016, I can't remember if it was 2016 or 2017, I got an opportunity to make a slime kit. And it was just going to be a slime kit. And I remember they told me, they were like, this could possibly be like your only product, but we're going to give it a name. So in case it comes out with different products. It's actually a really good business, I guess, hack that they told me at the time. They were like, every time you ever open a business, never put your name in it. Like, don't put like Karina Garcia slime. Always give it a name, and then it could say like by you. So it was Craft City by Karina Garcia. Craft City because it could be all kinds of crafting, you know? I still take that with me till this day with anything. I'm like, okay, don't put your name in it.
Because it limits you too, right?
Yes.
Because it's like only slime.
That part. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So we started with a slime kit. It did incredible. It hit thousands of fucking Target stores. It wasn't exclusively at Target at first.
Yeah.
So we launched that. It did so good that they were like, we want more stuff. We started pitching them like crafting stuff. The slime kits were the most popular, but we had like squishy making kits. We had
bracelets.
I think
lipsticks. It was lips.
Lips. We had like so many. I had like an ice cream. You know that ice cream where it's like frozen and then they roll it up and
like the shaving ice.
I literally had like a freaking ice cream maker and everything. Yeah, I had so many different crafts. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. Art, like random art stuff. And then that's when we started opening doors to Walmart, to CVS, Walgreens, Five Below. Like it hit like so many major retail stores, and it was something that I was not expecting. It wasn't like just me running it. Obviously, I had investors backing me up. I was partnered with a company. It has its pros and its cons though, especially seeing it now from like having like my slime shop versus like, you know, like a company like that. With the company, you know, I was under their wing, so they had all the investors. I didn't have to spend any money on like all of that, you know. But the cons to it was that I had my hands tied a little bit. I didn't have as much say as like in the budget. Like if I'm like, this slime could be better, they're like, well, this is the budget and this is what we're working with. You know, this is our manufacturer. We're not going to source another manufacturer. So I went back and forth. That was like my biggest stressor with that was quality sometimes, because I was like, how am I showing them how to make this slime at home? But like, then I'm selling them manufactured product. Like, yes, of course, with slime going into stores, it has to go through so much testing. It has to go through so much. It needs like manufacturer codes and everything. So it has to be manufactured so that it could sit on a shelf for like ever, right?
Was that a shocker for you? Like obviously going into like stores and you're like, bitch, I didn't know this all went into going into a store.
Insane. I thought it was so funny. I have actually like a little story. I remember when I first went to go buy my slime kit, my videographer came with me. She was like, we're going to film a video, you going to shop for your slime kit. Tell me why the cashier like me regañó. She was like, you can't be filming in stores. I was thinking like, I'm literally buying my own product that I have here, but I was like, whatever. It's just funny because I was thinking like Target literally wanted me to advertise it. Like they actually, like they suggested I do this, but I wasn't gonna like I got it with her, you know. But it was just funny because Target literally was like, you should go into the store, you know, and film yourself buying it. And the cashier was all regañándome for like filming there.
She's like, ¿qué estás haciendo, señora?
She's like,
soy
you
yo.
can't be filming here. I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't even like argue with her, but I just thought it was hilarious because I was thinking like, or you know what would happen? Like, I would just do this thing a lot where I remember more than one instance where I would go buy my product because, you know, if new stuff launched, I always wanted to go support myself.
Yeah. You know, you're the reason why they all sold out. Y'all funding
I'm not buying them out.
You're just paying yourself.
It's all a scam. Like, why?
Like, no wonder they were all sold out.
I'm so dead.
All the stores near us.
Right?
That's all you going.
It's all me taking them all. No, but I do remember I always thought it was funny for them to see the box and they'd be like, wait, is that you on the package? And I'd be like, yeah. I did that a lot, like for no reason. But I just thought it was funny when they did that and they would like recognize and be like, hold on, you're on that box. I literally remember, like, I remember this day specifically where I was like standing in line and I see a kid like with her mom. She's getting, like, they're scanning the box, like my slime box. And I'm a few people behind her. Mind you, she had no idea I was even there. And I was like, hey, like, I think, like, when she was walking out, like, I said hi to her, and she was like, what the fuck? It was, like, crazy, because, like, I spotted my slime kit in her, like, she was, like, paying. I was like, oh, my God, she doesn't even know I'm here. Like, it was just so funny. I was like, what the hell? That's so crazy.
I was just telling Karina, you guys, and I'm so fucking mad at myself, because we're actually cleaning the garage. I think you sent me in PR once.
Okay, yeah.
And then I would always buy them, because, you guys, I loved slime.
I'm dead.
And every single time I would see Karina in stores, I would buy them, and I literally was just telling her that I was supposed to bring it today. I had literally put them on the side because I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to interview Karina. Let me take them. That would have been so
Wait, which ones?
cool.
Which one? What products were they?
I have the Kool-Aid one. And then I have, we were talking about like the little putty slimes. It's the one that has like a bunch.
It's like a little mini collection.
Yeah, it's like a little mini collection. Y me los iba a traer, amigas, para que me los firmara y para que luego yo los pueda vender. Yeah, like this.
That's fucking funny, dude.
What made you stop like the partnership? Because I feel like eventually it started kind of just,
it just stopped, honestly.
Stopped.
It literally stopped overnight. Let me tell you, it's a funny story. It was not that funny. It was crazy. So you're like, okay, period. So in 2020, like right when COVID happened, you know, a lot of like companies went down, including me. But so it was this company that I was partnered with. This company had so many different brands. They had like all kinds. They also worked like guava juice and like different.
Okay.
Jake Paul. They had like a random product. Jojo Siwa. They worked with like so many different
like home
influencers.
Yeah.
They owned like this business where they had a bunch of brands under their name. Okay. And I was one of those brands that was under that company. They just tell us overnight like the entire thing is being dissolved overnight, including with every brand attached to it, which was like mine. So they were like, it's just going to dissolve overnight. That's just it. But obviously, like, it's not as scary though, because when retailers buy your product, they buy for like hundreds of thousands of units. So even if you stop working with them right now, they're going to have product for probably over a year.
Yeah.
And if there's overstock for freaking who knows how long, you know? So I was just like, oh, shoot, okay. But in the middle, being with Craft City, before it even ended, I always wanted to have homemade slime. I would get a lot of hate for my products. That is one thing I'll say. I got a lot of love for it too. But at the same time, I did have people saying like, this is like what is this?
It's not like your video.
Manufactured.
Yeah.
It's not like the slime you're making in your videos. So honestly, that shit would eat me up because I was like, yeah, they're right. I'm over here making slime, like homemade slime, and then I'm selling them manufactured slime. At the same time though, like I wish people had more grace. Like I don't think they get it, but like manufactured slime that goes in stores, it goes through so much. Like you can't just put homemade slime on the shelf because it needs upkeeping with borax and stuff over time. Like it wouldn't just sit there forever, you know? So it doesn't have preservatives, in other words. So people would really like drag me over that. And I like it would bother me. So I remember telling Raul, I was like, I really want to have a homemade slime shop where we make the slime because that's what I'm showing on my videos. I want, like, I knew, like, I was already making cool slimes. I was like, this would be so cool. And I remember just flagging it by like the company, like, hey, I'm gonna start a homemade slime shop. Like, I know I have Craft City, and they were like, oh no, that's in breach of contract. Like, no, because I had a product in stores, Craft City, and it's true because it's like, how am I gonna have
like you're gonna compete with
stores?
yourself?
I'm literally right. I'm like kind of pulling business and saying, hey guys, I'm actually making this. I'm making it. You know, it
like
would
don't buy the Target version, buy this version. Yeah, it's kind of like you're competing with yourself.
Yes. So it didn't really like work out that way, but I was so adamant on that. I was like, I'm going to have my slime shop. I told Raul, I was like, because he had so much, oh my gosh, he had his own channel too where it was just called Squishy, because I call him Squishy. That was just like a relationship thing that I would call him Squishy over time. And I remember like we did some fun videos on his. He did some random little stress ball videos, whatever. So I was like, what if you started a slime shop? Because I can't legally start it. I was like, what if you start it? And I'll advertise it, and we're both making slime, and it's like essentially like we're the face of it. But I was like, but legally,
you're the owner.
Your shop.
You're just sending it to me.
As soon as Craft City ended, like we both joined in on it, and now it's both of ours. But that's how I was able to start my own slime shop, because I couldn't start it when I was like in that contract.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like both of ours, and But I feel like I've seen the both ends of like, you know, working with a business, like working with investors. And I've seen like the homemade, like pouring everything into it. So they each have their pros and their cons for sure. I mean, having investors is amazing because you really don't take anything out of pocket, like nothing from your own pocket. You're just the face of it. You're just advertising it and you're bringing that money in. With homemade slime, you know, it's amazing because you get to get as personalized as you want. You're able to launch anything. Like if I come up with an idea now, I can launch it next week because I'm making it. Like we're literally physically making it. But at the same time, because you're making it, more production time goes into it. You can't just like stock X amount of things. You make it and then you stock it, and then you're like trying to keep up with that. Or because it's labor to it, you know, like the production of the slime, it's a lot more like in even like staff. And you could, I guess what I'm saying is like, I feel like everybody who owns a business would relate to this, is that when you have a business, like no matter what comes in, so much always goes back into the business. Like, and that's like, it's crazy. It's crazy how business works like that.
What do you feel has been like the hardest part of becoming the full-time, you know, CEO? Because nos cuentas that before, you know, it was very much like la carita, ay nomás vendías, and now it's like you going in, making them. Now you guys have a warehouse. Your guys' business has become so successful. What do you feel like has been the hardest part of being a business owner? And has there ever been moments where you wanted to quit because you're like, this is way too motherfucking much?
It can get a little bit stressful, but we love it. I think a big part of having homemade slime is like the funnest part, but it's the most stressful part. Stressful because, you know, everything is handmade down to the clay pieces, down to the packaging. You know, you can't just like order it, you know, I don't know, because I've also had like makeup before. So like with makeup, like, yes, you design it. A lot goes into the design and the testing of the product. But once you have it, you just order like, send me 10,000 units. Boom. Yeah. They're done. They're ready to pack. With slime, like, yeah, we could keep stocking it, but it's like, okay, well, shoot, we have to make all of it. And then some slimes are a little bit more complicated. That have like the clay pieces. Those are all handmade. Like everything is hand detailed, hand labeled, you know, everything packed and stuff. So it's a lot more personalized, which I love. It's my favorite thing about slime because you really could get creative. At the same time, it is like the most like, you know, it takes longer to like the production of it and making it and like the packing of it. There's a lot of prep that goes into it before you could actually pack it and stuff. With slime, you know, there's times where glue gets really expensive or containers could get expensive. Tariffs going up really affected us because, you know, you're ordering containers, ordering bubble wrap, ordering all your shipping supplies. That's something we saw that was huge. We were like, holy shit, we had to start sourcing locally, baby, I was like, how is it cheaper here now to get that container or to not the actual like products, all of our glue, all of our like all that stuff, like the main ingredients are US based. We everything is handmade, mama. That is one thing I will say about our slime. Like we have high quality slime. Everything is handmade, you guys, with love. But of course, you know, like you want to source overseas, you want to source boxes, you want to source containers. Even containers we still source here. We're trying to work on that. But yes, it does get cheaper, you know, maybe some bubble wrap or you know, packing supplies. Little things, charms, I don't know. But so much goes into it. A lot of budgeting, so many learning curves along the year. You could literally like, just because you sell an X amount of sales that month, you would think like, oh my gosh, that's so much money. And then you're like, actually, so much goes into this, so much goes into that. Like you would be shocked. The
employees, everything.
Yeah, you'd be shocked. Like no matter how much you make, like in a lot of businesses, I feel like I agree with this. Like so much always goes back in. It almost feels like a cycle. Like it's just like always going back into business.
You're like, when do I become rich?
Right? That's how it is though. But like it's amazing. We love it. It's definitely a passion.
What piece of advice can you give to like a up and coming business owner that is struggling with trying to make their business flourish and might feel like they want to give up?
You know what? With any business owners watching, I would really say try to stay on top of the trends. As cheesy as it sounds, like social media is the biggest key to literally I feel like success with any business. Like no matter what you're doing, like TikTok, for example, like TikTok's, you know, like just film yourself. If you make cakes, film yourself making cakes. I see cakes go viral all the time. People making their cakes, people making their desserts or strawberries. Girl, hit up all the influencers, message them. Don't ever be embarrassed to send a message. Don't ever be scared of rejection. The worst thing that's going to happen, they're going to leave you on red. Yeah. You might not even see that they read your message. You can't even tell if they saw it or not. Send everybody and their mama a message like, hey, can I send you strawberries for Mother's Day? Period. They're going to post about it. Tell your friend, your coworkers, like, hey, I'm doing this, like, shout me out, like, recommend me to so and so. That's like the biggest thing you could do is put yourself out there like that. And that's why I say social media is huge, because TikTok, dude, like even TikTok, like with Squishy Bunny, like it's having its boom again. Just TikTok shop. TikTok shop is so big, you guys. Anything online, go on live, girl. Don't be shy. Get on there, girl. You know what? If you want it, you have to go out and get it. You do what you gotta do, baby.
Mía, vergüenza robar, vergüenza pedir dinero ajeno. No, ponte las pilas, ponte on TikTok. Like, that's one thing that has helped my mom a lot.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes, she's a queen.
Literally, you guys, with my mom's candy business.
Insane.
Got on TikTok shop. Her sales went up crazy.
Insane.
She used to just do website. If you guys want any advice, TikTok shop is a way to go, because you really can have someone enjoying content as well as buying all within the same app.
That part.
Yo quiero platicar de tu vida hoy. Obviamente, you're a wife, you have a beautiful family. Y yo quiero saber cómo empezó todo eso. Cuéntanos un poquito más. How did you meet Raul? Who made the first move? How did he ask you to be his girlfriend? Cuéntanos un poquito más de ese romance, amiga.
That's actually a funny story. Raul and I met on MySpace.
Really?
Right. They're like,
a lot of you guys probably don't even know what the fuck that is. Moco Space? Remember Moco Space?
Yes, I remember that too, yeah. But MySpace is like way back in the day, y'all. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I had... One of his cousins was in school with me in middle school. Okay. So like I knew of him, but I didn't like know him in person. So I would like talk to him on there. I think I like randomly had added him. I don't even know how I added him or why. I think I probably just like went on an adding spree of boys.
You're like, someone's gonna fucking be my man.
I'm like, somebody's gotta be it. You imagine? No, but I think I literally remember just like adding him randomly. I probably just thought he was cute and I just added him. And I literally remember he messaged me like something like, "Who are you?" He was
it's like, "Do I know you?"
I think it was something like, "Do I know you?" or something. And I was like, "No, I'm just trying to get to know people." Then it just went from there. So we formed like a friendship. It was never like romantic for like years. And then we went our separate ways. Like he had girlfriends, I had girlfriends. Like we were girlfriends.
I'm coming out.
I had girlfriends too.
I'm coming out.
No, but I was dating. He was dating. I had a boyfriend. He had a girlfriend. Whatever. Years passed by, so it was like not romantic for so long. Like we would flirt here and there, but it was like nothing, right? For years. And then after high school, because this was in middle school, like when I really started talking to him. I feel like I've known this fool forever, honestly. But then after I graduated high school, I had like just left a relationship, and he was just like the sweetest guy ever. And like whenever I would have issues in that relationship, Raul was just always there to listen. But he was just the sweetest guy. And I remember thinking like, he is such a sweetheart. And like, I don't know, I was like, wow, this is what love is, huh? This is how they should treat me. Because my ex was like super toxic. We were children, whatever. So Raul, I was like, he's so sweet. And like, he asked me to go to the movies. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, like he's an icon. So we went to the movies on Halloween in 2012. And we got together 3 days later on November 3rd. We were like, let's get married.
And then we're here.
Right?
Literally.
No,
Wait,
but
did
we
he
got
ask you
together.
out? How did he ask you out?
Honestly, like Halloween night, like the day we met, like we had already kissed and everything, you know, because we had already like had a little crush or whatever when we were talking online. So when we hung out, we like, you know, had little kisses and all. And then, 3 days later, like I feel like we mutually knew. He just asked me to be his girlfriend a few days later on November 3rd, 2012. And the rest was history.
How did he propose? Do you remember the exact moment?
Proposing?
Like, did you already kind of like knew he was gonna do it, or did it caught you like off guard?
Completely off guard. So he proposed years later. I got proposed to, I want to say maybe 2018, and then I got married 2019. So around 2018 on I'll say on Mother's Day, what the fuck? On Valentine's Day, he proposed. So I remember we went to go have a dinner as always. Like that was our thing. We always just go to dinner. We went to go eat, had a couple drinks. And I just remember him being so lovey-dovey. And I was like, dang, he's in love today. I was like, it's the pheromone perfume.
I'm like, what do you want?
Right?
This
I'm
pussy. Probably.
He wants some. That's what's going on. You imagine? But I was like, okay, he's on a good one today. And then we headed over to my house. He was like, let's go to your house after. I was like, period.
It's gonna happen. Tú bien emocionada,
I'm like,
amiga.
okay, let's go. Imagine. So it was like after the bar, and we were like heading to my house. And then, okay, so we always pulled into my driveway. But this time around, he said he had like something about that he didn't have a remote to open it, something about the gate not working. So he was like, we need to park in the front to enter through the front door.
Okay.
And at first I was like, okay, that's weird. It never crossed my head. I was just thinking that we're going to go upstairs.
You're like, I'm trying to fuck. Thank God I shaved.
Right? I was like, okay, period. I was a little tipsy too. I was like, we're home. He didn't live with me at the time. But I was just like, okay, yes, we're going inside, whatever. And then I opened the door. The lights come on, and then mariachi starts playing. There's like rose petals like down my staircase. It's like my whole family's there. His whole family's there. My friends are there. His friends are there. And I was like, oh, bitch. I knew immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately, I was like, oh my God. And I just look over to him and I was like, you're kidding. What? And like, if you've seen the video, I'm just like in genuine shock.
You're all pissed because you all thought you were going to get it. Like, really?
No, but then it was extra good later. I'm so dead. But it was just like so romantic. And I really like till this day, I'm like, that was such a romantic way for him to do that. And it was so, so beautiful. The mariachi, the everything, the way he got on his knee, it was so cute.
How was planning
Adorable.
for the wedding? Because you had an extravagant wedding, you guys. I think you got married the night or the day before Danny's birthday.
Oh, really?
Because I remember at your wedding, we were like singing happy birthday at midnight outside by your pool. I still remember.
It.
The casaste que Danny is April 7th. So
April 6th.
right? See,
yeah,
okay.
April 6th
How was the whole planning for it? Because you had a beautiful, I think it's one, if anything, the most beautiful wedding I've ever been to. How was the whole planning for that?
Honestly, as soon as I got engaged, like immediately, I was so excited to plan my wedding. My brother does events. So we were like, we have to blow this out of the water. I have to do it now. I wanted to get married immediately. I feel like growing up, like with traditional parents, my parents were always very much about like, you move in with your person until you get married. Like they were just so traditional like that. And don't get me wrong, like, I was traveling all the time. He was staying over anyway. Like he was always staying over. Like, girl, it's my house. Bye. So I was just like, he's staying. We would travel all the time, so he was always with me. So they kind of got an idea that he would be like staying sometimes anyway. But even then, like I always had that like from my parents that like he never actually moved in until I got married. So I was actually like really excited. I was like, oh my gosh, we need to plan it now. And it took us about a year to plan. Exactly a year later, we got married. But the planning was so fun. My brother does weddings and stuff. So I feel like I already knew what I wanted my wedding to look like even before I got engaged. So it was the funnest thing to plan it.
What was the most expensive part of planning the wedding? Because I feel like you guys even created a whole salon. You guys did create a whole salon in your backyard.
It was literally a structure that they built. Whenever I tell people I got married, like, that I had my wedding at my house, they're like, what? Because it was literally an entire structure that they built there. Yeah. Honestly, one of the most shocking things that was the most expensive was flowers.
How much?
At that time, he tells me now that at the time it wasn't bad because they're more expensive now. At the time, oh my gosh, almost feels like wrong to say it. It was 35,000 in flowers. In flowers.
More than your dress.
Yeah, well, my dress was.
Your dress was gorgeous though, Karina.
Oh, thank you. My dress, it was a lot too, but it wasn't. I just remember there was definitely more expensive parts of the wedding because that was like just like a fraction of the wedding. But I do remember thinking like 35,000 in flowers is crazy.
Yeah.
And I might even be wrong. Like it might have been more. I just remember it was like a number like that I was like, what the hell? I think about it now, I'm like, in flowers, bitch? Like, what is a reason?
But I feel like I can see it being that much, though, because I've always known that flowers are so expensive. I mean, your brother did my sister's wedding.
Fresh flowers.
Literally, and they were everywhere. Literally, you guys, entrabas, y en cuanto entrabas, había flores. Entrabas al actual venue,
centerpieces, yeah.
Flowers everywhere. Like, did people take, like, the centerpieces
Oh,
home?
yeah. The tias were thriving with their 10-foot eye.
Oh, $10,000 ramo. Literally.
No,
That's
they
crazy.
were. Well, no, you know what I think was the most like when he decorated the church, it was like a ton of flowers in the church, like beautiful, like the whole thing was just covered in flowers. When you went into my house, like the entrance, like the whole staircase was like insane, like. The flowers were just over the top, but it's because they're fresh, so they're a little bit more expensive. And there was just flowers like everywhere in the church, in the entrance, in the hallways, and everything was covered in flowers. It was
What was
beautiful.
your favorite thing of your wedding?
It's such like a simple thing, but when we cut our cake, I always remember that moment. It was just so cute. And like, I feel like whenever you get married, like there's so many pictures and it's like so much going on. Like you're attending to your guests where you're having a blast, but it just flies by so fast. Like it flies by so fast because, you're making sure everyone's good and you're just like everywhere. And I feel like when it came to cutting our cake, it was like that moment like away from everyone where like we cut our cake, like you feed each other and it's just like, it's so cheesy, but like so cute. And I just remember us, like, it felt like we were truly alone in that moment. And I was just there with my sword cutting like freaking 10-foot cake. And I was like, period. It was just like a moment that I was like, wow, this is it. Like, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful.
Did anything go wrong? Because I feel like in big parties, especially weddings like that, siempre pasa algo that now that you think back at it, you're like, you know what? It wasn't a big deal. But at that moment, was there anything that happened that you're like, oh my God, like, why did this go fucking wrong? If so, que era?
A lot of people brought so many plus ones.
Okay.
You know how us Mexicans are. We're bringing the whole like +8.
Literally.
So I didn't mind. I really didn't. Like if I knew the people, I genuinely didn't mind. I knew it was gonna be a lot of people. I think like we planned for 400, but like so many more people came. Like I'm not kidding. I remember meeting so many people that day, and I was like, I've never met these people.
Like, who the fuck are you?
No, I think a lot of people like just like probably just like brought like a lot of extra people. Like I wish they at least told me just because like there was like family, like actual family that didn't get to sit down. So it's just chaotic. I wish I would have been more organized with like the seating process, like or really checking in on people to RSVP because I don't know. My family, like my Mexican family, does not RSVP. Like,
and even if you tell them, they're like, no, ya sabes que voy a ir. No, quiero que textees y digas que you are RSVP, si no, no voy a saber que vas a venir.
Yes, and then like everybody would pull up with like 8+ people. I was like, oh my gosh. And I didn't even notice it at the time, but I just remember like after my brother was like stressed out because nobody had seats. Yeah. But I wouldn't change anything about it. It was the most beautiful day and it was,
I loved it. I had so much fun at your wedding, you guys. I swear to God, you had the robots.
Oh, yes.
There was so much. I feel like yo ese día no quería que acabara. Ay, no era mi boda, you guys. I was just disfrutándolo so tanto. Fun. It was so much fun. And I'm glad that you had so much fun. And it was a day que te acuerdas to this day. Oh, you know, quiero platicar un poquito más about motherhood. You know, obviamente ahorita tienes una familia hermosa.
Oh, thank you.
But it was a little harder for you, you know, to get pregnant. Cuéntanos un poquito más if you feel comfortable. You know, what was that journey like for you? You were open about your miscarriages. Cuéntanos un poquito más de eso.
When it came to trying to have kids, you know, we got to that point that I was like, I want a baby. I didn't know if it was gonna be, you know, easy or hard, you know, growing up, you know, you're like taking your protection and you're like, oh, I can't get pregnant because you don't know like how fertile you are or not. You think that simply by not using protection one time, you're gonna get pregnant, you know, this is like me, like thinking before. And then when it came to actually like trying, it was not as easy as I thought it was gonna be. I was like, wait, why am I not getting pregnant? I started taking like ovulation strips, which is like these like strips that detect like the hormone when you're about to ovulate, when the egg's about to release. So it'll tell you like, oh, you're good to go on this day, you might get pregnant, you know? So I would do that. And I tried that. I didn't get pregnant. I don't know how open I've been about this, but I actually saw a fertility specialist one year. I actually tried an injection of something. It was called, oh my gosh, I forgot. This was years ago. I forgot what the injection is, but the injection basically like it helps your body ovulate. Like if it's not ovulating, it'll help it like ovulate. And he even told me with this injection, you might even ovulate 2 at a time. So there's like higher chances of twins. And I was like, period. I was already trying, you know, they had done testing already. They put like a liquid up there, like down there, like through my uterus to like open up my ovaries, like the pipes. I don't think I've ever mentioned this before. They did that. They tried like to clean everything out. But time went by. I tried that. I tried the injection, and it was almost like you're going to get pregnant. You might even ovulate 2 eggs.
Yeah.
I tried that. Didn't get pregnant. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I let it go. And a lot of people would tell me like, it's gonna happen when God wants. It's gonna when you least expect it, it's gonna happen. So I was like, okay. I was like, whatever. I stopped. Because mind you, like with kids, like I've always wanted kids. Like the moment, when I got married, like honestly, immediately I wanted kids. I looked into that. That didn't work. So then I was like, I'm just going to leave it to God. Whatever. I'm just going to ignore it. And I'm just going to have unprotected, whatever. And months later, out of nowhere, I didn't even think I was pregnant. I didn't know I was pregnant at all. I just remember going to a party one time, having a couple drinks, feeling really, really off about it, like extra nauseous. And days later, I don't even remember how it happened. I think I was like, I'm going to take a test. Fuck it. I'm just going to take a test. Like, there's no way I'm pregnant. There's literally no way. I take a test. I'm pregnant. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, oh my gosh. Mind you, like going through like infertility, like services and like not getting pregnant. And then now I'm pregnant on my own. And I didn't even realize it. Like, what the fuck? I'm pregnant on accident. And I just like tried, that's how that happened. So then I make my first appointment with my, to get an ultrasound. I'm so fucking excited. Like I wake up, I do my makeup. I'm telling you, like when you want something so bad and then you finally get it, it's like, oh my gosh, it was like that. I was just so excited. So I make my first appointment. I'm like telling my mom, I'm gonna go to my first appointment today. I get to my appointment. They're doing like an ultrasound, and the nurse was like quiet. Like she wasn't saying anything. I was like, oh, what the fuck is going on? I immediately I was like, something's wrong. I was already I was like 10 weeks or so. So like 2.5 months. And she's doing the ultrasound and she's like, I'm gonna call my doctor. And I was like, huh? And I was just like, I started already freaking out. Like I think I already started crying and I was like, something's wrong. And Raul was like, nothing's wrong. Like it's okay. And I just knew, I was like, something's fucking wrong. She's calling her doctor. And I was like, what? And she's like, it's okay. I'm just trying to find a heartbeat. I'm going to get someone to look at it. I was like, I started losing. Oh my gosh. I look back. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm so glad that I've healed from that because that was such a hard moment. And then she comes in and she tells me like, yes, like there's no heartbeat. It looks like it stopped growing like a few days ago. Like they just walk you through all of it. And then in that moment, you're just like so overwhelmed with emotions. You can't even like hear them because you're just like thinking like, what? Like I tried so hard for this. I finally got pregnant. I'm so excited. And then nope, it was just like, it just felt like a fucking joke. It was just a rough time. But then, also because my body was not expelling the fetus, they had to obviously do like the surgery to like, clean you out and all. So even that was like, but you know what? I do feel like I really have healed from that. But, unfortunately it happened 2 more times. So like I had, it felt like back-to-back miscarriages. I would get pregnant, get excited, and the second, when it happened again, I remember thinking, I was like, I got excited because I was like, I'm a little bit nervous because of that happened. Mm-hmm. But like, what are the odds it's going to happen again? It's like very unlikely. Yeah. And then it happens again. I was like, oh my gosh. Like I could talk about it like so openly now, but at the time it was like traumatizing. I was like, is something wrong with my body? Like, can my body not like, because I start doing all this research. I'm like, is my body like not feeding them? Like, what is it? Like my body's literally like not a good place for them to live in because they keep like dying. Like I felt so horrible. I was like, what the fuck? First I struggle to get pregnant and I try all these things and like I don't get pregnant. Now I'm getting pregnant and now my body can't even keep them alive. I felt so horrible. But that wasn't gonna stop me. Like I was just having unprotected sex. Honestly, I just want to get pregnant. Like I really did want to have this baby. I get pregnant a third time. It happens again. I'm like, okay. But that time I was like I really went into it like knowing like, you know, it's probably gonna happen. And it happened really early on. I just remember like, my mom already knew too. It was like, she didn't even, like she had already like seen me go through it. So I just remember I was like at an appointment with Raul, like he was like, but it wasn't an appointment for like the pregnancy. He was like doing something like he was getting his skin checked, like a mole checked out or something. And then I just started feeling crampy. And then I called my mom, like I just knew what was happening. But he was like in the doctor, so he couldn't take me. But like my mom picked me up. It was a long story. But I just remembered like my mom answered the phone. The first thing I say, I was like, "Me está pasando otra vez," and like she knew immediately what I was talking about.
She didn't even know you were pregnant.
She didn't even know I was pregnant.
Right? Okay.
And she was like, "Ay, mija, like where are you?" And then she like came to get me, took me to the ER, and I was just like, "Bitch, can I not have kids?" Yeah. Like I really was like, I can't have kids. And like I genuinely, you start to question so much about your body. You're like, how the fuck, like first I couldn't get pregnant, now I'm getting pregnant, and now you're telling me like I'm just gonna keep like just losing them? Like what is this? Like what kind of joke? I literally would like pray to God. I was like, what kind of sick joke is this? Like I was like, this is crazy. And then I just tried to like keep positive, and I actually ended up finding a doctor that was like a specialist in like miscarriages and stuff, and actually learned like such a simple trick. I'm not a doctor, so obviously get it ran by your doctor, but such a huge thing I learned is like something as simple as like aspirin pills. If you've had like recurrent miscarriages, like sometimes it could be like with your blood clots, like with your blood, the way it clots. I did my own research, and the doctor even told me that yes, like I guess like blood thinners do help with that stuff. So he prescribed me that, like blood thinners on top of those. Like it was like an injection I would do to myself. I can't say if it helped or not, but I mean, I had my baby.
Did you ever blame yourself?
Oh yes. Like I always thought, I was like, is it, I don't know, like I was like, is it like my health? Like what's going on? Like what is happening? And like they did so much testing. They literally took blood from me. They took blood from Raul because they were like, why can't any of these fetuses survive? Like, is something wrong in your guys' like genetic codes, you know, like something? And nothing was wrong. It was just like my body just literally, like they would just stop growing. Like my body would not feed them.
Yeah.
They would just die. Yeah. Like, it would just, I guess the placenta or something. So he came to the conclusion that it might have been like the blood flow wasn't the best. So he gave me blood thinners. And yeah, like with both pregnancies, I took blood thinners. And I mean, they're here. So I'm like, oh my gosh.
Do you feel like during that time you were struggling a lot emotionally because this was something you wanted and it kept happening? Obviamente, you say that now you're able to talk about it so freely. Mm-hmm. But do you feel like in those moments you went into a very dark space?
Oh yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, I would question everything. I was like, I can't have kids. And like I would like tell Raul, like, I can't even give you kids. Like, I'm probably not going to be able to. Like, it was a really dark time. I'm not going to lie. It was a really dark time. And then once I really do feel, though, once I got pregnant with Mia, like, she healed everything in me. Everything and more.
How did you find out you were pregnant with Mia? Who did you tell? And what was your reaction? Were you a little scared? You were very much like, oh my God, you know, what's going to happen again? Pa que me emociono. Mm-hmm. What was that like for you?
Yeah, so I get pregnant with Mia. And I was, like, tracking my ovulation. I'm telling you, like, I was on it. So I knew, I was like, I'm either going to be pregnant in 8 days or not, because it takes like 8 days for implantation to happen. So I was on it. I took a pregnancy test exactly like 8 days later, and I was like, I'm either pregnant or I'm not pregnant. I take a test, I'm pregnant, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. But then like as soon as that excitement would hit, I was like, I'm pregnant. Here we fucking go. I was so over it, because even the previous pregnancy, you know, it was so sad. I had given Raul like a little, like I had made him like a little poster that said like, our rainbow baby due this month. And it was like a rainbow that I drew. Aww. I hand painted it, gifted it to him. Have a miscarriage a week later. I was like, no, this is diabolical. This is crazy. So with Mia, it was more simple. I was like, I'm not doing all this like over here going all out, right? So I think I did do like a box or something. I just put it in the box.
Did you wait longer to like announce it to your friends and family this time?
Yes, I did. So with Raul, like I told him right away, just because like I genuinely could not hold it together. So I told him maybe like a day later, and I tell him, and like I'm excited, but immediately I just start crying. And I'm like so sad. He's like, it's gonna be okay. So instead of it being like a happy, exciting moment, it was just more like, oh God, I hope this is it, you know? It was exciting, but it was so sad because I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't get excited. I did not. Yeah, until I passed like certain amount of months, I got excited. I didn't announce a pregnancy until I was maybe like 4 months or so. But then of course I got excited after that. And like, it was just, I really do feel like that pregnancy healed everything in me.
How was your overall pregnancy? Do you feel like you had a very smooth pregnancy, or was it still very like scary throughout the whole pregnancy?
So I was like high risk. So my doctor, like I was on a lot of like shots. I was like on freaking like on a blood thinner, on top of aspirin, on top of like insulin too, because the diabetes was crazy. Like, so
you actually had something that my sister had. What was that? You had
gestational diabetes.
Yes,
Yes.
She had that with her pregnancy too.
Yeah, I had that, and as the pregnancy would progress, like the placenta makes it even harder. So like I would have to pump more and more insulin, like every day. The insulin shot, the aspirin and all that, like it was just like, oh, like, I mean, it was so worth it, but it was definitely very monitored really closely. He would see me like every other week. Like, you don't really get that many ultrasounds with a pregnancy. It's just that he would see me so often to make sure that everything was happening the way it should, that everything with me was healthy, that everything was good with my blood, with my sugars, everything, to make sure that this baby was in the best environment possible. You usually get one anatomy scan. He did like 2-3 anatomy scans. Like, he was really looking at every detail of the baby's development, because that was like the biggest thing. Where like, why does my body keep doing this? It could be something wrong with like the embryos or something. So they did all the testing. He was so on top of everything, and I'm so grateful for him.
Cuéntanos del momento, obviamente das a luz. What is your birth
so
story,
beautiful.
and what was that moment like for you when you finally had your baby in your hands?
Oh my gosh, I feel like Mia's birth is always going to be so special to me. I have 2 daughters now, but Mia's birth is like, it was just like cloud 9. Like, I could not believe I was even there. The whole experience, the whole pregnancy, I would be like, I can't believe I'm like actually pregnant. I'm 8 months pregnant. I'm 9 months pregnant now. The morning of that, I went to the hospital. I was like bawling like a fucking baby. I was like, it's here. In that moment, even then you're scared. Like, I hope everything goes good. I hope everything's good. I pushed like for 3 hours with her. She was huge, and she was born, and then they put her on my chest. I could not even like fathom. I was like, oh my gosh, because you're pregnant the whole time. But once you see them, you're like, you're who was in there the whole time. It was like the sweetest thing ever. Like, I actually look back at those days and it feels like a dream. It feels like I was on a fucking cloud.
Yeah.
And I just remember being in recovery, and like, yeah, you're like achy and like you're bleeding, and like it's like so crazy. There's so much happening, but at the same time, you're like on cloud 9, your nipples all sore, everything's like crazy, but you're so excited, and it was like the best moment of my life.
What was the first week like? Did you have like a lot of sleepless nights? Was it hard for you? What was it like adjusting to being a mom now?
I feel like because she was so desired, every little step was so exciting in the beginning. Like, going home, I was like, I'm taking my little doll home. Like, it literally felt like you're taking your baby doll, but she's literally like flesh. You're like, oh my God, she's mine. Like, I was literally so fucking excited taking her home and like dressing. Oh my God, putting her first outfit on. It was the best. And then obviously, yeah, with like weeks and stuff, you're like, oh my gosh, this is tiring. They cry a lot. Mommyhood is not that easy, and then also the hormone shifts. Even if you're so excited and you're so happy to have this baby, no matter how desired they are, your hormones are literally up here when you're pregnant. The moment you give birth, they plummet to the fucking ground. So that's when like postpartum blues comes in. I feel like I got postpartum blues. I wouldn't say I was like fully depressed, but I got the blues where like randomly you'll feel like this like bajon of like, ugh, and you're like, why am I feeling this? I'm so happy. Like, I got what I wanted. I got my baby. I think it's a combination of like such a huge adjustment in your life, and then also the hormones. It'll do it, girl.
Now you have your beautiful family. You have 2 daughters.
Yes.
You and Raul. How
crazy.
has motherhood and just your life changed now que ya son una familia? Do you feel like motherhood has really changed you for the good?
It's changed me for the better. I always felt like I was an impatient person before. Until I had kids, I'm like, actually, I'm really patient. Like, your kids will make you patient. And it's just funny too how like both pregnancies happen, because like Mia, she was like so desired, and like, I mean, they're both desired. I love both of them so much. Like, everybody always says like, when you have your second kid, how is he gonna feel? Like, because I always thought like, how is he gonna feel when I have my second one? Like, am I gonna love them as much as my first? You absolutely do. 100% love them as much. Your heart literally doubles in size when you have your next kid. And it's crazy because with Mia, I tried so much, which is funny because with Camila, my youngest, I actually had taken a plan B with her. And like, I had no idea I was gonna get pregnant. You know, I'm so glad she's here. Like, thank God. God just really said plan A, baby. He said, nope, plan A.
What do you mean plan B, babes? No, your family's gonna grow today.
Yes,
Literally.
I took it on time and everything. I genuinely was in a position where I did not want to have another baby at the time. So when I got pregnant, I was actually flabbergasted because I was like, oh my gosh, what, you know? And then I remember when I had her, like, obviously I got excited about it.
Was it
eventually.
a smooth pregnancy or was it still
so
like
much
very
smoother.
scary? Okay.
It was actually so much smoother. I think also like with the weight loss in general, like with like this time I didn't have diabetes and like it was just like so much smoother that it was the smoothest pregnancy ever. I didn't have to be on injections or any of that. So it was so much easier with her, but it's just funny like how it was like so opposite. And then when I had her, I remember on our ride home, bringing my second baby home, I remember looking at her crying and I was like, I can't believe you were about to not be here with a plan B. Like everything happens for a reason, truly, because I see her now. I'm like, you literally complete us.
Aww.
Like I love my family so much. My little family. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have my own little like humans. Like it's iconic.
How do you deal with mom guilt? Because I feel like mom guilt is very real and it's something that a lot of women go through, especially you. You know, you're a business owner. You're always, you know, you're an influencer where you feel like you have to go here and there. Do you ever get like mom guilt? Like, oh my God, I just left the house and I already want to go back home. And how do you deal with it? Y cómo tú te dejas saber a ti misma, like, you know what? It's okay. Disfruta. You're doing enough. Stop feeling guilty.
Yeah, that's real. Like with work or just like, how do you explain to, like to people where you're like, I'm going to this event, it's work, but like I'm leaving my kids and you think that I'm probably just going to go party, but like it's actually good for me, you know? Yeah. There's moments like that too that, there's times that I'm like, dang, do I need to go to this event? And I feel like that's where I'm kind of at now. Like for a while, I did have a lot of that guilt and I was like, I'm not going to any of these events. I have a baby at home. And then I feel like with the time that passes by, I'm like, no, it's actually good to go and like get to know other creators. Like you're literally networking. Yeah. You get to meet brands, you know, you get to, so many things come out of events all the time, you know? So it's always good for you. And it is work in a sense, you know, or just like anything, even at home, like if I'm filming the podcast, like we film out of our house. So I'll just tell Mia, like, I'm going to work. And she's probably like, what do you mean? There is a guilt that I get like when I'm on my computer or on my phone editing something like a TikTok or something, where if she's like trying to get my attention, I'm like, baby, I'm working, and I'm like on my phone, and then I'll catch myself and I'll clock myself and be like, this just don't feel right, like, because then my baby's seeing me on my phone and I'm telling her like, hold on, baby, hold on, I'm working, and like something about that doesn't feel right. Even if I know like, no, I need to submit this, you know, like a brand deal or something, I'm like, hold on, I'm trying to get this done, or I'm reading through the emails or something. That is something that I don't like, and I actually try to intentionally go on my computer, like if it's emails or even messages, like I'll try to get it all done on the computer, because I feel like she kind of understands like I'm in my desk, I'm doing my own thing. I don't like when I'm on my phone and she's like, you know, I feel like she's
more like you're just doing something else on your phone instead of a computer. Looks more work, right?
Right? Like
I feel like it does. No, it does.
Yes, because like then I feel bad whenever I'm on my phone doing something. I'll tell Raul like, can you please distract her? Like, because just naturally, like my kids, like with their mom, they're just very like, they're very anything. Mama. They want food. They want something. Like the first one, they're gonna go to the mommy. You know. So a lot of times, like there is, you know, there has been times I'd be like, Mia, go ask your dad. Go ask your dad. I'm like, and I'll be like, I'm like, girl, go ask your daddy. And I'm like. And then I'll catch myself. I'm like, bitch, that looks crazy. I'm like, wait.
But I feel like it's motherhood. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
wait, I'm submitting something. Like, I'm not ignoring you. But like, if you were to see it from a third eye, you'd be like, bitch, get off your phone.
Like,
you know?
she'll probably grow up and maybe be like, oh, my mom was busy. But then she'll get to a point where she's like, you know what? My mom was always fucking working. My mom was like busy because she was trying to do her best to provide, to do whatever the fuck she had to do.
But like, I recognize it though. That's why I'll be like, I'll intentionally be like, let me get stuff done on the computer. So that she won't think, you know. Other than that though, like in general, working from home a lot of times too is a huge blessing. You know, obviously we have the warehouse and stuff, but a lot of times I could work from home, even if I am like, you know, on socials a lot and stuff. At the same time, I do feel really blessed to be at home with them. Like we're always like, one thing for sure is like, we have this thing where I'm like in the morning, we're having breakfast together as a family, or like dinner, little things like that I'm like, phones away, everything away. Like this is our moment to like have a little family time or whatever.
I love that. I've been loving this whole conversation, girl. Like I feel like I've really gotten to know you a little bit, even like on a deeper level. You know, antes de que terminemos, you know, la conversación, especially about this, you know, what piece of advice can you give anyone watching that is currently going through a miscarriage, has gone through a miscarriage, and feels like there won't ever be a rainbow at the end of their tunnel?
You know what? That's such a good question, because when you're going through that, nothing helps. Like all the words, someone could literally tell you like, girl, I had this many miscarriages. Like, trust me, like it's going to happen for you. Yeah. People would tell me that and I'd be like, no, but I'm different. All right.
Or you'd almost take it like, shut the fuck up. Yeah.
No, I'll be like, no, but like, I don't think I could.
No,
like, I don't know.
Not you. Literally.
You just think like negative, just naturally, you know? All I would say is just take it a day at a time. And I know right now you're thinking like, no, but you know, just take it a day at a time. And truly, truly, like when you least expect it, God's going to make it happen. And don't give up, girl. Do not give up. That's all I could say, because I know being in that position, like no matter what people say, you're like, okay, well, just one day at a time, truly.
And I really do feel like, even though it sounds a little corny, not corny, but it just sounds like, oh, everyone says that. Like the tiempos de Dios are so right. I mean,
so
I've talked about it before. You know, my sister también, she had a lot of complications, you know, getting pregnant, to the point that she had already in her head been like, you know, if I'm going to be a mom, it's going to be through adoption. You know, I'm going to adopt because ella en su mente ya había pensado, nunca voy a ser mamá. You know what I mean? Biologically. And when she stopped stressing over it, when she stopped really being like, I need to get pregnant, I want to get pregnant, fue cuando quedó embarazada.
Your body literally, like the stress actually affects your body. Because the moment you let the stress go,
you're like, oh, okay.
That's really what happened to me. I was like, oh shoot. Like really, when you really fully let go, like the stress in your body almost like does something. When the stress leaves your body, it helps a little bit.
I love it. Y en verdad que sí, amigas, trust God's timing, because Él sabe por qué hace las cosas. Él sabe por qué nos hace pasar ciertas cosas, to really appreciate cuando nos da todo. You know, with that being said, thank you so much, Karina, for coming on the podcast. Before we get going, amigas, le voy a preguntar la última pregunta que le tengo el día de hoy. ¿En dónde te miras tú en los próximos 5 a 10 años?
Okay, period. That's such a good one. Hopefully still doing something.
Like, hopefully not broke.
You know what? Anything, I imagine. OnlyFans.
You're like, lo que caga, chinga su madre.
You know what? Wherever the wind takes me. And just, you know, taking it 1 year at a time, 1 day at a time, baby. And whatever God has in store for me, you know, I'm here for it. And we just gotta seguirle chambeando, that's it.
Y sé que
as
te va
much
a
as
ir
we
muy
can.
bien, and I'm so excited de ver en dónde estás tú en 5 a 10 años. With that being said, amigas, si ustedes no han ido a seguir a Karina, make sure you guys go ahead and follow her on our social medias, which I'll leave down below as well as on the screen. Y también no se les olvide seguirme a mí so you guys won't miss any future episodes. And with that being said, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an honor.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.
Bye.
You did so good.